Hey, thanks for watching. This is going to be at least a two-part series. We're going to be learning how to play Freddie the Freeloader. And I just want to do one video in front to do just like some preliminary preparation on dealing with Freddie the Freeloader. And then in the second video, I'll do some exercises and a little further in-depth explanation of what this song Freddie the Freeloader is all about by Miles Davis, yes. So, Freddie the Freeloader. What you should know about Freddie the Freeloader is that Freddie the Freeloader, this song is a blues. Now, once you listen to this song, you can, and if you haven't listened to it, you should definitely listen to this song on repeat 1,000 times every week so that you can learn all the language, all the wonderful language that is spoken by all those wonderful musicians, Miles Davis and Wynton Kelly and Cannonball and John Coltrane. Yeah, they're saying all kinds of stuff in there that you should have in your arsenal of vocabulary. So listen to that music. It's going to be good for you if you're trying to learn how to improvise. If you're not trying to learn how to improvise, it's still good to listen to. It makes you feel good inside. So, Freddie the Freeloader, the song is a blues, and it's not like the genre of blues, like when you think about B.B. King or Bobby Blue Bland or Clarence Carter or somebody like that, or Robert Johnson. It's not necessarily a blues like that, not the genre. This is actually a blues form, F-O-R-M, blues form. Now, blues singers generally, when they're performing their songs, they're generally singing over a blues form also, but sometimes they use variants of the blues form and change a few things or change one thing just to make it different and to contradistinguish it from some other song that somebody else wrote. That's a part of being an artist and being creative, right? What is a blues form? In this case, a blues form is 12 measures. 4 measures of the 1 chord, 2 measures of the 4 chord, 2 measures of the 1 chord, 1 measure of the 5 chord, 1 measure of the 4 chord, and then 2 measures of the 1 chord for a total of 12 measures. Now, that sounded like a lot. Let me break it down for you. I like to break the blues up into 3 sections. So 3 4-bar sections. So you have 4, 8, 12. That equals 12, right? Yeah, it equals 12. Okay, so to break this down, let's talk about the blues in the key of C. So for B-flat instruments, this is going to be perfect for you because Freddie the Freeloader is in the key of C for trumpets or B-flat instruments. If you're playing a C or concert instrument, then it's going to be in B-flat for you. But we'll cover that in the next video. So let's deal with the key of C before we get to distributing the chord changes across these 12 measures. So the song is in the key of C. What does that mean? Every song is in a key. The key that it's in is based on a major scale or a minor scale, which is part of a major scale. That's another video. So the C major scale, the notes of the C major scale are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and there's 7 different notes, and then the 8th note repeats the cycle again. So major scales, if you wanted to just continue, you can keep going Like you don't really have to stop. It's just based on how high you want to go up or how low you want to go down. You can go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You know, it can keep going, and also in the other direction. So that's neither here nor there. I don't know where it is, but it's neither here nor there. But so you have 7 different notes in a major scale. Those 7 different notes, whenever you're playing a song in the key of C, those 7 different notes are going to serve different purposes and have different meanings within the song. But only those 7 notes are the notes that will be in the key of C, and they're going to have some relationship to each other and give each other some type of meaning, right? Okay, now with that being said, every note has a corresponding number when you're talking about the notes in a key. So C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, B is 7. So you have seven different modalities in the key of C. Or in every key, you have 7 different modalities. That's something to remember. You have 7 modalities in every key. So now let's bump it up a little bit. With each of those 7 modalities, you can build a triad or a chord on each of those 7 modalities. So each of them will be kind of like their own sub-key, if that makes sense to you. So now, the 1 chord would be a C major chord. And to make a triad or a 3-note chord, then you want to have the 1 of that chord, the 1 of the 1 chord, or the root of the 1 chord. Let's say root so we don't get confused. So we'll have the root of the 1 chord. The root is C. So to make a triad, you would play every other note of the scale. So you play 1, skip 1, play 1, skip 1, play 1. So that you have the root, which is C. You have the 3rd, which is E, and you have the 5th, which is G. So you play the C, skip the D, play the E, skip the F, play the G. And that's how you build a triad. So the root. So now, let's build a triad on the 2 chord. So the root of the 2 chord is D. You skip the E, play the F. Skip the G, play the A. So you have root, 3rd, 5th of every chord. Root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th. So the 3 chord will start on E if we're in the key of C. The 3 chord is E. So E is the root, G is the 3rd, B is the 5th. If we want a 4 chord, the root is the F, 3rd is A, C is the 5th. You see how this works? All right, now let's get back to our blues. We're going back to the blues. Now, so like I said, we break it up into 3 sections of 4 measures. So the first section of 4 measures is very simple. It's 4 measures of the 1 chord. So the difference with the blues versus a lot of other songs, well, a lot of older songs, like the older standards, is that the blues is composed generally, especially in this case, of all dominant 7 chords. Now, what is a dominant 7 chord? A dominant 7 chord is a 4-note chord instead of a 3-note chord. So in this case, the 1 chord, you would build that by playing the root, the 3rd, the 5th, and the flat 7th, not the 7th that's in the major scale. So you would play C, E, G, and B flat. That's what makes it a dominant 7th chord. If you play the B natural instead of the B flat, that makes it a major 7th chord. So we're using all dominant 7th chords. So you have C, E, G, B flat, root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7. First 4 measures of the blues, 4 measures of the 1 chord, dominant 7th chord that is. So we got that out the way. The second group of 4 measures of the blues, we'll have 2 measures of the 4 chord, dominant 7th though, because remember the blues is all dominant 7th chords here. So the 4 chord in the key of C, C, D, E, F. So we're going to build an F dominant 7th chord. So we have F is the root, A is the 3rd, C is the 5th, and E flat is the dominant 7th. If we had an E natural instead, it would be an F major 7th chord. So we'll lower the 7th by 1/2 step, make it E flat. Now we have an F dominant 7th chord. So we have 2 measures of the 4 chord, and then we go back home to the 1 chord for 2 measures. So the second 4 measures of the blues is 2 bars of the 4 chord and 2 bars of the 1 chord. This is my favorite part of the blues. I like to call it the turnaround. And some other jazz guys like to call it the turnaround too. And it's not what you think. The turnaround doesn't mean that you just turn around and play the blues. That's not how it works. The turnaround is something different from the second 4 measures, but it brings you back home. It's like you're walking down the street and then you turn the corner and you come right back home. You've seen enough. So the turnaround is 1 bar of the 5 chord. When I say bar, I also mean measure. 1 bar of the 5 chord, the 5 chord, C, D, E, F, G. G is the 5 chord. So we want to need to build a dominant 7th chord on the G chord. So we have G as the root, B as the 3rd, D as the 5th, and F natural as the dominant 7th. If we had F sharp, that would be the major 7th. And another way to distinguish the major 7th from the dominant 7th, the major 7th is the actual 7th that's in the major scale. The dominant 7th is the 7th, if you take the 7th from the major scale and flatten it by 1/2 step. Remember that. Or you can remember that the dominant 7th is always 2/2 steps lower than the root. So if the root is G and you go down 1/2 step from G, you have F sharp. That would be the major 7th that's in the G major scale. If you go down 2/2 steps, that would be F natural. That's your dominant 7th. And you just take it and flip it on the top of the chord. So back to the blues. The G dominant 7th chord is the 5 chord in the key of C. Do that for 1 measure. F dominant 7th is our 4 chord. Do that for the next measure. And then you take it back home for the next 2 measures, back to C dominant 7th. And that's the 12 bars of the blues broken down into 3 groups. So you have 4 bars of the 1 chord, 4 bars with 2 of those being the 4 chord, the other 2 being the 1 chord. Then you have 4 bars of a 5 chord, a 4 chord, then 2 bars of the 1 chord. And that's the general blues form. Now, what you're gonna see when we get to the next video, when we play Freddie the Freeloader, there's 1 chord that's different in Freddie the Freeloader that makes it have a really distinct sound. And we're gonna get to that and have some explanation and all that good stuff. Oh, the shirt, by the way, shout out to Deuce Brown Jazz. I love free t-shirts. If you have a free t-shirt that you'd like me to wear in my video, just let me know. Send it to me. Other than that, I'll make sure to post a link in the description so that you can have something to play along with. I'll put a play along track for Freddie the Freeloader in the description of this video and the description of the part 2 video. I'll put a link in the description, maybe a link from learnjazzstandards.com. They have some really pretty good play-alongs. If not, then I'll put a link up for, or post a video. Maybe I'll post a video of just like a iRealBook play-along. You should have something to play along with because it really helps your development and putting the single notes, because you can't play chords more than one note at the same time on these instruments. So it helps playing these notes one at a time, but also having the palette of the chords to hear how everything comes together. So whether you get a play along from Learn Jazz Standards or iRealBook or Jamie Abersol or anything like that, it's even better if you can find humans to play along with you, because that's a really great way to learn music, because it's all about sharing ideas, and you can learn something from them, they can learn something from you. So do that as much as you can. That'll kind of speed up your development as a musician. It always helps. So in this video, I know that I've said a whole lot, and there was a lot of explanation, a lot of numbers and formulas and all that kind of stuff. So if there's something that you don't understand, just go back to the beginning of the video, watch it again, watch it a few times, and hopefully things will start clearing up for you. If it doesn't, feel free to leave me a comment and I'll respond to you. Or you can send me an email to kidchocolatejazz@aol.com, and I'll be glad to help you out with that. With all that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Get ready.